My name is Michael Blair. I'm the Senior Product and Sales Manager at Aspyr Media, and we're here to talk about Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic for mobile.
What are your thoughts about the fact that a game that started off on consoles is now playable on a portable device?
Oh, I feel like we're kind of living in the future. You know, I think this is something that we've thought about for a long time, and it's something that quite simply wasn't possible for a long time. But now hardware's sort of caught up, and we're able to fit a full gaming experience into a mobile device, and it's super exciting.
Talk a little about the concept of taking something that large and bringing it over to mobile.
Well, it's no small feat, certainly. First off, specifically with the Android version, there's so many different devices in the marketplace. And so really our focus was targeting specific devices that, first off, that we thought could run the title, and then try to take it from there. For us specifically, our expertise is in OpenGL, and we've had roughly 18 years of experience coding in that language, and so bringing it to mobile devices was kind of a sort of the logical next step, and we were just waiting for the opportunity to do it. But yeah, it's specifically for mobile, I think, at first it was something that it was tinkering with the game in little bits and ways, turning off dynamic lighting effects, or turning off, certain sort of effects in game like bloom, seeing what that would do to performance. Because we always have a mark that we want to hit, and quite frankly, if we're not hitting that mark in performance in a game, we don't release the title. So.
But for the Nvidia devices, for like a Tegra Shield tablet, will you be able to turn those kinds of things back on?
So that's the beauty about Nvidia. Like I just said, performance is always a primary concern for us, especially when taking a title as large as this and going to mobile. With Nvidia, we didn't have to worry about that in any way, shape, or form. Like literally out of the gate, the Nvidia devices ran at 60 frames all the time. We were like, okay. All right, well, we don't have to worry about Nvidia, and then we can work on all of the other devices. So for Nvidia specifically, the Nvidia devices are the tablet and the portable. We're the only devices that can actually run KOTOR on high, and we set that as a default. So they're the only devices that come that way as a default. The user, it's just turned on. The user doesn't have to tinker with the settings. We let it go full bore.
How have you worked with Nvidia in the development process?
They actually came in early in the process, and they've been a fantastic partner. They've offered us everything that we could possibly ask for. Obviously hardware, tech support on the back end, and talking about obviously future devices and what can we do specifically for the hardware sets. So they were great. It's been great.
Speaking of future devices, talk about the newly announced Tegra X1 technology. As a game developer, what does that open up for you?
Well, it opens up more things like Star Wars and Knights of the Old Republic. There are obvious limitations on mobile devices, and so with that technology coming into the marketplace, a lot of those limitations are being taken away, and we can take truly a full console experience and put it on a mobile device. Obviously optimized for whatever you're playing, whether it be in a living room setting or in an actual device in front of you. But yeah.
Now, in a way, it's coming full circle because we're going to also have the Tegra technology running on Android micro consoles, bringing it back to the big screen. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, as a KOTOR fan myself, it was a huge game for me. Bringing KOTOR back into the living room, where it started, is really, really exciting. So we hope to do that with more games in the future, very similar.
I'm sure a lot of people out there are familiar with KOTOR, but just for those who aren't, talk a little about the setting of this game and what makes it unique.
Well, KOTOR really takes the Star Wars experience and I think it kind of opens up the imagination of what the Star Wars universe can or was. Specifically in this game, it's set many thousands of years before the movies are set. And so it's a time of the Sith and the Jedis. They're at the height of their power. And so it's that light and dark struggle just sort of amplified in some way. So as a gamer, it just kind of, it really expands what can be done with that sort of fantasy setting. It's really, really exciting. And, and it's obviously came into KOTOR 2, it came into the Old Republic, which is obviously the super popular MMO, and man, they've done a fantastic job with that part of the Star Wars universe. It's really exciting.
Can you talk about how deep an RPG this is?
Well, some would say that it's one of the original kind of deep RPGs. that allowed a lot of people to experience it without the sort of barriers of like, oh, well, is this going to take too long, or is this not really going to grip me? I think it was one of the first role-playing games that was like a really gripping experience. We toss the word choose your own story around a lot when we talk about this in the office, and I think BioWare captured the imagination of that, if that makes sense. Like that anything was possible, and you sort of, the first time you played Knights of the Old Republic, it sort of felt that way. Like my choices actually matter. They are actually impacting the gameplay, and really and truly was one of the first games that was able to do that effectively. And I think it set the stage for a lot of the RPGs to follow. So.
And for the first time in a very long time, there's a brand new Star Wars Episode 7 coming out this year. What impact do you feel that will have in potentially having people go back and play this game or experience it for the first time on mobile?
Oh, I think anytime there's a Star Wars event, we see a lot of gamers come back to the older titles, and so they become a little bit more popular during those time periods. We even saw spikes in game plays, like game sessions, whenever the first trailer hit. So I'm absolutely certain that anything new brought to the franchise is going to pique interest in the older titles. Sure.